And our special guest for this evening, Zdenka Holman from Yay Wellness. Hi, Zdenka. Nice to have a great chat with you tonight about that. All right, so we're going to go straight to you tonight, Zdenka, and I'd like to talk about your exercise program, all right? Now, it's called the Yay Way, with eating and exercise, and you're basically a Yay Wellness facilitator. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I guess it stems back from my experience in the industry, which I thought about today. It's nearly 3 decades. Now, that's a long time.
But you haven't been on the planet that long.
Well,
how's that possible?
Thank you very much.
I really don't know.
I've
past life. You started in your past life.
Thank you. You're very kind. I've never been an instructor or a trainer. My roles have been in owner management of fitness clubs. And it's throughout those years that I've learnt a lot from members, literally thousands of people that I've met along the way. And so all that experience combined has brought me to these new places where I've been able to incorporate all of that and mix the exercise and the eating, but also other things that are going on in people's lives that also needs to be taken into consideration for a complete package and service to be able to help people with.
So you take a kind of a holistic approach to this. It's not just if you do this amount of exercise and you eat this specific way, you need this many calories, you need to work out this many hours. You take a holistic lifestyle approach to it as well, don't you?
Well, yes, and the background to that is learning that there were cycles that people would go through. Just repeated things like, why do I keep starting on my exercise program? Why isn't it they'd be going so well for such a long time? And then all of a sudden, within a 3-month period at our clubs, the members would just disappear. And I would think there's got to be a reason why this cycle keeps continuing. And as I got to know the members, I realised that things were going on in their lives. And what they were thinking they wanted to do or could do was different to what they actually could do physically. You see, so there wasn't a happy mind-body balance thing going on for them.
Because I'm a member of a fitness club, and one of the jokes that we always talk about, like myself and other members, is it's kind of like the 3-month mark, where we go in there and we're all hyped and we're starting a new program, and about 6-8 weeks later, it's like, oh, I can't get out of bed today. I've got this on. I've got work in the way. So would you say that's one of the biggest challenges?
Absolutely, and it's still a challenge in our industry. A lot of resources go into trying to keep people on the exercise program, and typically what happens is, firstly physically, members would be putting themselves through a regime that was just too difficult. They'd be forcing themselves to meet expectations that were so high, and the pressure of that, and then all the other associated guilt feelings would make it very difficult. And simultaneously, they would be on perhaps a new diet or changing their eating habits to try and lose some weight, let's say, perhaps, and then it would be too drastic, or they'd be frustrated because they'd be counting calories all day, and then something would happen to get them off track, and the guilt of all that. And so it was this constant, like a treadmill,
like
for
want of it. Almost like a yo-yo, the start-stop.
Yeah.
Because I've done that, and I know pretty much everybody I've ever spoken to is the same thing, the yo-yo diet, and it's always, on Monday, I'm going to start. On Monday, actually on next Monday, because this week I've got this, and this, and then next Monday, because I am guilty of that. And then that's so true, that sets up all the guilt. Because you feel so bad if you don't do it. You feel like crap if you don't do it. So what would you say would be the best approach to the holistic side of looking at both diet and exercise? What would you, the Yay Way, by the way, Yay meaning?
Yin and yang.
Isn't that beautiful? The Yay Way.
I love that.
Yin and yang. So, okay, so how would you approach exercise and diet holistically?
Here's the really good news. You don't have to exercise every day. You just don't. And your body just needs consistency with exercise. It's part of the Yay Way program is finding something that works for you. a particular program might be fine, but it's not going to be applicable for everyone. So the OA looks at tailoring everlasting habits that you can do. And if you ask yourself, can I do this long term, and you're feeling like the answer is yes, then you're on the right track. If you're already resisting and going, oh, I don't want to, or whatever the feelings come up with, it's already possibly destined to not work. And so, and with eating as well, you need to believe that by reducing fats and avoiding sugar, if you have any weight to lose and you've got a good little regime going on, like 3 times a week, that's all you need. But every week, not just for a 6-week program or a 12-week program, and there are many programs out there, some more enticing than others, but typically they have an expiry date, right?
That's so true.
So what are you going to do after that? And either you have to do that again, or what often happens, people are frustrated by it and then they go back to old eating habits, you see, and so
how does the body react to that?
well, the metabolism doesn't like it at all. That's what I'm saying, our body needs consistency, and once you start doing drastic things like skipping meals or reducing intake, it shuts down. It's freaking out. It doesn't know what's going on, so it's holding on to reserves just in case you're going to starve it. So, and as we get older, the metabolism slows down.
Yeah.
So it's a really good idea not to mess with it, you know. And when we refer to the Yay way, well, what I do is put together something that doesn't have an expiry date. It has habits that you can implement into your life that work for you, for your family, for your day-to-day existence.
And that can be different for everyone.
Oh my goodness, yes, because there's only 24 hours in the day. And when we're trying to inject too much, too drastically, you just hit the wall. It's not going to work. So I try and help people find things that can work, that you can do. And that's the key word, you know, and then you will do it.
And what you want to do
Yes,
as well.
yes.
So how can people go about something like that? So say, for instance, in my experience, because I've started the Yay Way with you quite recently, I went to the gym yesterday and I thought, well, that's great because I've only got to do 3 days a week. So that works for me. That works in with my lifestyle. I'm working for the next 4 days. I won't have time. So I just went in and did my little workout in the afternoon. And I actually really enjoyed it because I didn't feel the pressure on myself that I had to back up today and tomorrow because I know I've only got to do it 3 days a week.
That's it. Isn't it a total different mindset you've
Yes.
had already? It was like, oh, thank you, right? I mean, I don't love exercise. People often say, oh, it's all right, you probably exercise every day. No, I don't. I mean, who wakes up in the morning, unless you're like a super duper athlete or something, who wakes up and says, can't wait to exercise today? Exactly.
But I mean, you are living proof, Zdenka.
Well, I do it 3 times a week, every week. I've always done it. I can do it, and I will do it.
And
It's
you don't,
just
and
the
you
way
don't,
it is.
and you don't ever have weeks where you feel like I've got to do it more this week, or
Well, no, there might be some things that happen, like I had some babies once upon a time, and I couldn't exercise 3 times a week all the time, but that had to change a little bit, you know.
Okay.
But life happens. But if you get the momentum, your body remembers that, your muscle remembers that, it just goes back to normal if you know, just keep at it. And back to the other point about exercising, I mean, we always feel great at the end, don't we?
Always.
Don't you just love that?
Adrenaline,
Oh, please,
yep.
yeah, right. I'm
Beautiful,
pleased I
yep.
did that.
Yep.
And your endorphins are doing the dance, and you think, oh, good, I did
Proud.
that. But I'm just thinking, what if it was the other way around, and the endorphins kicked in at the start? Wouldn't that be fabulous? We'd all be exercising.
that's so
stop.
true.
Right, we need to work
But I
on
think
this.
yours do, because when I did a workout last
Hello.
week with Zdenka, your endorphins were pumping at the beginning.
I'm
I
trying
could
to motivate
see.
you.
Yeah, I could see that.
Come on.
I went in going, "Ugh." At the end of it, I was like, ah. Okay, so well, let's just talk about some self-limiting belief systems. Han, you very much incorporate mind, body together. How does the mind affect the body?
Well, fascinated by it all, by wanting to know more from the members as to why they kept this pattern going on. I learned that there was more to it. When they would share things with me, it wasn't about getting fit at all. There was more to their lives going on, and typically it was around relationships. Something had gone, either missing, something had stopped, a part of themselves particularly women. It was mainly the women that I got to know, some of the essence of them, their femininity or their sensuality or the spark in their relationship or in their family life, not feeling, are they giving enough? Am I good enough? All of those things contribute to who we are and what we're able to do, you see. And so I realised that in the exercise facilities where I was working, that element was missing. We weren't addressing what's going on in people's lives. We would just look after them when they came through the doors, and that's our job. We need to give them the exercise programs. But I knew there had to be more, and that's why some years ago I opened a little studio, and it had exercise classes and all the rest, but immediately there on the premises was a wellness therapist offering kinesiology, my favourite thing, and other natural therapies to balance out what was going on in their lives. And I just thought that's fantastic. And more recently with the Yay Way, it's not in a studio, but it's a service that I can offer that is on the same premise.
So with this program that you've got, the Yay Way program, basically you'll have a client come in and you'll look at them from every aspect, mind, body and spirit. You'll do the kinesiology, you'll have a look at their overall well-being, sense of mental, emotional and physical well-being. And then you'll structure a regime for them for both exercise and diet around that, including their wants, their likes, their dislikes and their lifestyle.
Yes, and I'm not an expert on nutrition or anything like that, but I can certainly facilitate and based on all that experience and what we're discussing together, we can come up with a wonderful routine that works for you. And that's what it's about. It's about everlasting habits that you don't even think about anymore. You just do them.
It just becomes part of your life.
That's the trick, right?
Well, it's the first time in a long time I've looked forward to exercising and I enjoy it. And that's
Yay.
yay. So it's totally like yay. I'm starting to get into that. So I'm experiencing it for myself and I'm very excited that you've got this program that's come together, because I think it takes sometimes 10, 20, 30 years of wisdom and learning yourself what works and what doesn't to be able to develop a program.
Thank you, and I believe in it, and I think that's the key, because if I believe in it, then I can walk the talk, and I'm confident to help, and whatever it is that I say, I know that hopefully it'll land in the person's place, and they will also feel that belief, and then maybe something shifts a little, and that's what it's all about. Our subconscious is a funny thing, and we can just tap into it a little bit somehow, and it all helps, I'm sure, to get closer and closer to achieving our goals in life. Not just with exercise, with all sorts of things, everything that's important to us.
Well, one thing I do know with you is a lot of people will often say, how does Zdenka get to look like that? And just hearing what you've said to me over the time that I've known you, it's living proof. Absolute living proof.
Yeah, thanks.
So anyway, we're going to bring you back a little bit later to join the topic of discussion, because that is about the mind, body and soul balance, and because that's really your entire Yay Way.
Thank you.
We're going to incorporate you into that discussion. So if you would like to contact Zdenka and get a little bit more information about the Yay Way and the program that she has devised over these years on offer, I can't recommend it enough. It is brilliant. Just go to our Facebook and it'll be on our website as well, all the information that you need to contact Zdenka. Thank you so much, darling, and we'll see you a little bit later with our
Thank you
topic
very
of
much.
discussion.